All right, welcome to another episode of Real Beauty, Real Food, and Real Life. I'm one of the hosts today, and
Monae.
We are about to put it in. We're about to do a 360 lace frontal wig, and say hi.
Hello.
All right. All right. See you in a minute. The powder
and the 40 developer. It's basically, you don't want to get it too runny. You want it to be more of a thick consistency because you don't want it to leak through the closure onto the hair. So try to make it as thick as possible, or however thick you want it. But do not do it runny, because if you have it runny, it will seep through the closure onto the hair, and then you'll have to go back and try to recorrect it with hair dye or whatever. So try to make it as thick as you can.
Okay, and how do you know how much to use?
Well, really, it's just, like I said, you want it to be a thick consistency. So however big your closure is, or however much you want to put around your frontal, that's basically how you determine on how much powder you want to use. As far as the liquid, the developer, like I said, you don't need very much of the developer because you want it to be a thick consistency. You don't want it to be runny. So you don't have to use very much of the developer.
All right. And so you're going to put it on there?
Yeah, I'm going to put it on the frontal. And
so basically, get on the hair.
Basically, because you don't swipe it on. You basically have to tap it like this. You kind of tap it on like this. Let me put the bowl down.
I gave you the aluminum foil.
The aluminum foil will be to cover it when we're done, because it keeps like heat in there and it makes it.
Ooh, it stinks.
Yeah, it will kind of burn your nose a little. But you just kind of dab it on there. Don't rub it on, because then if you like rub it or whatever, it will, like I said, kind of seep through. So then you just keep doing that until you basically have the areas covered that you want to have covered. And then once you do that, you leave it on for about 20 minutes and make sure you cover it with the foil, because it keeps it keeps the heat inside of it, and it makes it bleach a little faster. So this is what you want your frontal to look like once you're done adding the bleach to it. And then you just take your foil and you just basically cover it over like this, and then you let it sit for about, well, since it's already kind of turned a little bit, we'll probably just leave it on for about 15 minutes. And then once that's done, we will rinse it out and we will show you the finished product of it being bleached.
Why are you covering it?
It keeps the heat in there, and so you want it to keep heat in there, so it's making sure that it's turning and bleaching it. Okay, so we bleached our knots on the frontal, and it should look a little like this. Sometimes if it isn't to your liking, some people even actually go back and they stain the closure just to kind of get it to where it looks more so like more of their skin color, but I think this one's okay. So this is what it looks like.
So what are you going to do next?
So now what we're going to do is we're going to try to put it on the dome cap, and then we might even do a little concealer on the cap. This is our cap. We might put a little concealer on the frontal, just a little bit, and then after that we're going to start our wig. We're just putting, we're using a little bit of foundation, and we're just basically dabbing it onto the closure. And so after we do this, we're going to get some of the, it's a glue protectant. We're going to use that, and we're going to put a coating on that, and it's going to basically make it look way more natural than just the bleach. It's going to make it look more like a scalp. Like, it's going to make it look more like skin, because when you just bleach it, sometimes it just, you still have like these little square things from the frontal or whatever. So by us putting the foundation and the glue protectant, it makes it more of a smoother consistency, and like I said, it makes it look more like skin. So that's what we're gonna do. So we will come back in a minute once I put this on there and then use the glue protectant, and we will show you what it looks like when we're done. Okay, so now that we've put the concealer on the closure, now it looks more of like a scalp. It looks more like skin versus just when the knots are just dyed or bleached. So this is what it looks like now. It looks more like a person's scalp versus just the dye. So it looks like that throughout the hair. So it looks more like the scalp throughout the hair. So we should be good. And it looks more natural. So then you can part it wherever, and it's basically just throughout it.
So now what are you going to do?
So now what we're going to do is we're going to pluck the hairline, and then we will make the wig. We'll sew it onto the cap. All right, so now we're going to start the process of sewing the closure, the frontal, down to the cap. So basically what we're doing is we're making a wig instead of, because some people will just sew it down to their scalp. Some want to make a unit. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to make a wig unit with this, and then we're going to sew this around, and then we're going to add the bundles that we have. We're just going to add those in the middle after we are done sewing this down. And then after that, we're going to go back through and we're going to cut the excess cap off, and then we will be done. Okay, so now we sewed the frontal down to the cap. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back through with our bundle, and we're going to start to stitch the bundles down to the closure. And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to go across and then flip over, just basically back and forth like that until we get to the top. And then once we get to the top, we're going to kind of take it around like that and do it like that. So when I get to, I'm going to do about half of it, and then I'll come back and show you what I've done with that. All right, now we come back to, I'm just basically still working on the first bundle. I am just still sewing it down to the cap. I didn't want to do it. At first I was going to do I was going to double the weft, but I'm like, yeah, I don't want it to look too bulky, so I just went ahead and just did it the single weft. So we just keep doing it like this until we get to the top, and then once I get closer to the very top, I'm going to kind of stop, and then I'm going to start to put it a little more like a U shape. I'm going to sew it in like a U shape once I get to the top, because it'll be a little easier to be able to pull back into a ponytail, lay flatter. So just stay tuned. All right, now we have finished sewing the bundles to the cap. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take it off, and we're going to sew, or we're going to cut the excess of the cap off, and then we will sew it to her head. Now we're just going to cut the excess off because we don't need it. Please, when you're doing this, do not cut don't cut where the string is at, because then that's going to make you have to start all the way over. And I'm sure you don't want to do that, so just cut it. Watch the string.
What string?
From the sew-in. You don't want to cut
okay.
that, because then if you cut that, then it's going to basically make you the hair unravel, and you don't want to do that. So yeah. All right. Whoop.
Now what?
And there's that, and then you have your wig, your unit, and then we put it on your head and sew it down. So we will come back with a finished product.
Hi guys. Hi guys. Hi guys. I am doing the makeup.
Okay, so we're doing this video here to show you the cutting of the what is this? The weft, whatever.
The lace.
It starts.
Shh. Now, why are we using this?
Why are we using the razor to cut it? Well, versus the scissors is more of a, like, if you're using the scissors, it's more of a straight cut. You kind of want more of a jagged cut when you're using it, because for one, when you're using a razor, it's not as straight. So but using this is more of a jagged type of cut, and it's honestly a little bit better to cut with a razor than scissors. Well, at least to me anyway. So we just use that and cut it. almost done. Just keep on. And just do it, you know, just kind of, you don't have to do it straight because like I said, there's no perfect hairline. So you can kind of do it a little messed up or kind of crooked or whatever. Because, like I said, there is no perfect hairline, that's for sure. So, and then sometimes when you do put on lace closures or lace frontals, excuse me, you have to sometimes cut just a little bit of the hair off on the side for where it is basically shaped to around your ear. So I'm just gonna cut a little bit of the hair off. Alrighty. So let me take this a little bit more on this side. Okay. So that's what it looks like basically once I've cut it. And then I'm going to make her, she has her baby hairs that we will lay down. I'm definitely going to cut them. They're not going to be that long. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to sew it. And then I will, well, I can actually cut her baby hairs now. So let me go and just do that while right here. You do not want baby hairs to be all that long. Baby hairs are not meant to be long. They are meant to be extremely short. And it's really, you really don't need to have very much of baby hair either. So I cut them pretty short because they don't really need to be that long. So, okay. Now we will come back when we are done. Okay, so this is the finished look of the 360 wig we made. Now, I sewed it to her hair, and then once I was done, I basically kind of just sprayed it down to kind of make it look a little wet and kind of put the wave pattern back in. I cut her baby hairs and kind of just you know, formed them back a little bit, and then I just pushed I just made the part on one side of her head and then just pushed the hair to the other side for a bang. And so she can do basically pretty much whatever she wants with it. If she wants to do an updo, she can. If she wants to do up, down, or all the way up, she can do whatever she wants with this hair. She can flat iron it. She can curl it. She can pretty much do whatever. So this is the final finished look. Yay!